What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 9 of Batman Caped Crusader. This is the review over The Killer Inside Me. Very appropriate title, but I have some mixed feelings about this episode. I have some really heavy mixed feelings about this. So without further ado, let's get into it. This episode picks up from the previous episode, beginning a two-part narrative centered on the tragic fall of Harvey Dent. Disfigured from Rupert Thorne's targeted act of violence, the aspiring mayoral candidate becomes a cruel arm of justice. So this is the Two-Face arc, this whole thing. One thing you gotta understand about Two-Face, Two-Face is such a great, interesting, and tragic character. Jilted by the unjust crime system, Harvey's descent into darkness perfectly mirrors Bruce Wayne's evolution into Batman. Both men were victims of a violent crime and lost faith in the justice system. The only difference is Batman has an inkling of hope in humanity, and Harvey just sees the world through blood. This episode, as it stands within this series, was pretty good. I liked Two-Face. I liked his motives. I liked his revenge arc, the tortures he did, the killings he did, the internal struggle, and Batman's internal struggle as he feels he was the one who pushed Harvey over the edge. All of these things were good. I liked all of that. And this version of Two-Face was crazy and ruthless. I loved it. And I know a lot of people don't really like his character design. I didn't have a problem with it. I actually like it. But the issue that I have, here's where I have mixed feelings. The issue that I have is overall, there's not much depth to this. Not much depth at all. This version of Harvey Dent isn't likable. He's a son of a bitch. From the very beginning, he was set up in this show as a character who was an asshole. He was a jerk to Barbara Gordon in court. He threatened people's jobs. He was friends with the corrupt police, and he himself was corrupt. He worked with Rupert Thorne. I like this episode, and I like this version of Two-Face as a villain. I like the villain Two-Face in this, but the writers stripped the character of Harvey Dent they stripped him of all of his juice and all of his emotional weight. What made Two-Face such a tragic character in the past was the fact that he was a good man at first. He was the shining example of justice in Gotham City. This was hope. This man was a great, passionate, and respectable man. This was Gotham's White Knight. In the comics, in Batman's early days, in the first year of his career, he, Jim Gordon, and Harvey all made a pact to save Gotham and clean up the streets. Batman and Gordon would catch criminals, and Harvey would put them in prison and keep them there. These three men had a tight bond, but then Harvey fell. He was a victim to the very scum he tried so hard to rid the city of. He was acid attacked, disfigured, lost everything, his mental state shattered, and he became Two-Face. And now he's just another screwed up monster locked away in the asylum with all the rest. And that's what makes him such a tragic character. Every time Batman goes up against him, he's going up against a former ally, a friend who he can't reach anymore.
You don't want to hurt the boy, Harvey.
It's not about what I want. It's about what's fair! You thought we could be decent men in an indecent time. But you were wrong. The world is cruel, and the only morality in a cruel world is chance. Unbiased, unprejudiced, fair.
In this show, however, in this brand new animated series, none of that has happened. Forget everything I just said. This show strips him of all of that, which unfortunately, by stripping him away of all that, you also strip away my care for him. I don't care about this version of him. It's like when he gets acid thrown in his face, you feel like, dude, you deserve that. You was a jerk and you work with the mob. You work with the mob, you're gonna get acid thrown in your face. I don't feel sorry for you. You was already a shitty person, and now half the outside matches all of the inside. I don't know why they would do that to this character. I don't know why they would change him like that. But when you compare him to the OG Harvey Dent from the 90s show, this is a case of soul versus Soulless. The old show set Harvey Dent up the way the comics did. He was the city's district attorney, a guiding light. He was a good, honest man who had a passionate, deep hunger for justice. He had a fiance he was gonna marry. He was best friends with Bruce Wayne, and he was so tough on crime. So when the transformation of Two-Face happened, it was much more emotional. There was more depth to this character, a character who was not only reoccurring in this series, but very likable in the episodes that he was in. He was a main character, and his dynamic with his friend as a broken villain was even more emotional because he wasn't the same person anymore. But Batman refused to give up on him.
Bruce. Good old Bruce. Always there. You never give up on me.
He's right. You're always there for him.
Yes. Just like you're always there for me.
Hey, what are friends for?
That is Soul. That is what I'm talking about. This, when compared to the comics, the OG series, and the Dark Knight movie, this is soulless.
Okay. No, then go on. Say it. Say it!
Harvey!
Now, like I said, as an episode in this series, I like it. A good plot, good dynamic between all the characters, a good first showdown between Batman and Two-Face. It was good, but it wasn't great. It seriously lacks depth. It's like having a really good piece of fried chicken, but no mashed potatoes, no green beans, no macaronis, no sides to really elevate it. If Harvey was good and likable from the start, these killings, the torture, all of this Two-Face stuff, and Batman feeling guilty and angry about it all of this would be so much better. It's so much wasted potential. Such a shame, man. I just had mixed feelings about this, like I said. As an episode within this series, it's decent, but you can't help but to compare it to other medias. And when compared to other medias, it seriously lacks depth. Old cartoons seem like they had something to say. The shows we grew up with, they were so good because they were filled with love, passion. They had something to say. New stuff doesn't really seem to have nothing to say. New cartoons in today's 2024, really I'd say after 2012, that's when cartoons just started sucking. This particular Batman show, Caped Crusader, it's been good. There has been a lot of high points. In my other reviews and other videos, I've talked about things that I really like. There's been a lot of high points. But overall, I cannot say that this series really blows me away. This isn't, the best thing that's ever come out. This isn't like my new favorite Batman show. No. This episode didn't blow me away. It was good, but it was very one-dimensional. But as always, let me know what you guys think if you watch this. Let me know what you think about the character of Two-Face. Let me know your thoughts down below. And by the way, yes, you read the title of this video correctly. Kevin Conroy's voice was in this episode. Listen to this.
New dawn for Gotham, and
Look at it.
because together we can build.
He looks like some kind of monster.
That was Kevin Conroy. Do you need to hear it again?
He looks like some kind of monster. Looks like some kind of monster. He looks like some kind of monster.
I hate it when things slip by me.
If you cannot hear that was Kevin Conroy's voice, I don't know if it was taken from something else that he did or if he actually recorded that for this show. I don't know, but what I do know is that was Kevin Conroy speaking. That was OG Batman. And if you cannot recognize this voice when you hear it, you have not watched or played enough Batman. Simple as that. But as always, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.